noon hour is here.
Check it out.
And you're locked on to Utah's highest rated, most listened to sports radio station.
It's my station. It's my station.
This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey, folks, let's get it. Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Happy Thursday, everybody. How are you?
Well, I am proud to report that I took my son out to the golfing whooping shed.
You guys golfed again yesterday?
This morning.
Whoa.
Yeah, early. We got out
the bug again?
We got out to Lloyd's neck of the woods. Went and hit Meadowbrook.
Copper Hills?
There it is, right out there by the Copper Hills Country Club.
Yeah. What is the name of that course out there?
Oh, Mountain. Is it that one?
That one on the 2-0.
No, there's a Copper Hills Country Club.
Oh, is it a country club? Get out of here.
You're talking
I'm
about
dead serious. There's a country club out there.
Really?
out by Kearns?
I was talking about that one on the 201 before you turn around and go to Tooele on 84.
That is it Bridgestone? I don't know. Bridge something.
I think he's thinking about the old one that got ripped out by the airport.
Oh, did it get ripped?
Oh,
Wing Point.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I don't think I'm thinking about that one.
That was the old city course that they ran out of water and patience.
Wasn't it built on a landfill?
Wing Point is the one where Lloyd almost got me in a fight.
I didn't almost get
15
you
or
in a
16
fight. You
years
almost
ago.
got yourself.
No, I was just learning the rules. What exactly happened? I pressed up on a guy, and he said something to me, and I was like, no, that's not how we do. That's not how we
I don't even
Dude.
care.
He
If,
started walking towards you, and you can walk towards him and got a little closer.
you're like, I don't even care if you're right about the rules. You don't talk to me like that.
We're going to turn this from golf to football real fast. We'll turn it from golf to wrestling, and then wrestling to choking you out, and then from choking you out to throwing you in this river right here. Like, it was... Lloyd started it. How did you start it?
Don't you dare,
you hit into
because
him.
I am one with the gentleman's game. I am not about starting fights out on a golf
It
course.
was
You
something.
know that.
Lloyd did something. But I whooped rock. Meadowbrook, by the way, that's a hidden gem over by you.
Absolutely.
Have you
It
played
is.
that one?
I have not.
Off 4200 South?
I have not. And this is the summer of golf for me.
Meadowbrook's a great place to start, buddy.
Hey, by the way,
Very affordable and wide open.
this is my monthly plea to our good friends at Bountiful Ridge. Let me mow your lawns. I want to mow the
Oh, wait,
lawns.
can we do the old Adam Sandler, Chris Farley bit? Just let the man mow your lawn. Can't you let the man just mow your lawn? All he wants to do is mow your lawn.
I'm sure you got a bunch of 16-year-olds that never show up to work, who do a half-a job. Here is a grown A man that is always up at 5 a.m. I would love to come to your course.
And you've got a touch with grass.
And I know my grass.
Yes.
Not Snoop grass. No.
No.
Actual luscious Bermuda grass. Like I can mow. I know how to mow. Let me mow your lawns. You pay me minimum wage, and you let me on your golf course. That's all I'm asking.
He knows how to plug in sand.
Yes. Come on.
Can't you let the guy just mow your lawn? What were those old commercials on Saturday Night Live with Adam Sandler and Chris
can't
Farley?
remember. You're in the ballpark.
Can't you let the kid just walk your dog? You're not going to just let that kid walk your dog? It was like Chris Farley was a promotional spokesperson for Adam Sandler, who's a little kid that wanted to walk dogs. You don't remember that?
I do remember it.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
But
Let me water your plants. Please, while you're gone, let me water your plants.
yes. And then you're Chris Farley. Just let the guy water your plants.
That's a pretty good Chris Farley.
I miss Chris.
Man, how great would it have been had he stayed with us?
Amazing.
Like, how many more incredible movies would we have gotten out of him?
Way more than Adam Sandler? Or maybe not.
Yeah, Adam Sandler, boy, I tell you what, when it went with him, it went fast. It was like Peyton Manning that last year, because you had Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, and all these great movies, and then all of a sudden he hit like Little Nicky.
What was the one where he was the brother and the sister?
Oh yeah, I didn't even watch that one.
Jack and Jill?
Jack and Jill, yeah.
Horrible.
And even Mr. Deeds, it's fine,
very medium,
but not great.
very medium.
Yeah.
But there's a couple I do like. I like Spanglish a lot.
Spanglish. Oh, is that the
Yeah.
one with he's a cook?
Yes.
That's more of like a serious movie.
Yeah.
Oh no, he actually like
It was really good.
the one where he's a diamond guy and Kevin Garnett buys diamonds
I
from
didn't
him.
like that
Hidden
one.
Gems.
Hidden Gems.
I didn't like that one.
But I thought his acting in it was really good. I
Did
didn't
you?
really care for the story, but I thought he acted the heck out of that. And then that one with the one where he was the basketball guy with the jazz player. And Anthony Edwards. I thought he did a great job in that.
Yeah, and Herman Gomez.
Yes.
What was the name of that?
I don't
Well, and I'm one of those dopes that absolutely loved Grown Ups. Part 1.
Oh, I know you.
I'm a dope.
Yeah.
I know it.
Hustle.
Hustle. That was good.
Hustle.
No, that was really good. He and Queen Latifah had insane chemistry in that movie.
Which
Yeah, the Queen was great.
Which you would never in a million years think that the two of them
No.
would have chemistry.
No, and I do love Click.
Yeah.
For
We know.
For
We
reasons
know.
we
Yeah.
should know.
We know.
But okay, I heard what's that old? I don't know if he still does sports radio. He was really good, and he was like in all the Adam Sandler movies.
Oh, Dan Patrick?
Dan Patrick.
Yeah.
I was listening to him talk about Adam Sandler movies and being in them, and he's like, "Should we be real for a minute?" And everybody's like, "Yeah." Have you noticed that Adam picks the most exotic places to film and the most beautiful women to film with? Like every single one. Kate Beckinsale,
Jennifer Aniston
a couple of times. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't like those Aniston movies.
Haven't even watched them.
Yeah, I didn't like them.
You didn't like Just Go With It?
No, I didn't like it. No.
I thought it was pretty funny.
Is that the one who's
With the girl that's married to the tennis player, Andy Roddick?
no, I don't know that one.
Well, Drew Barrymore, in the
50
90s.
First Dates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore in the 90s.
It's got Brooklyn Decker.
Yeah, Brooklyn Decker. Yeah, Brooklyn Decker on a Hawaiian island. That's where they filmed that thing. Like Adam did not have a tough time in life.
No, he figured it out.
Good for him.
Hey,
hey.
Yeah.
Thank you.
By the way, I pay up on my bets.
Hold on, let everybody hear.
Everybody. Yes, sir.
That's that green monster.
Got the green monster.
Scotty always pays his bets.
Yes. So I had the over-under on
Cheers.
goals scored last night at 4.5. I took the under, you took the over, and it was 3-2 at the end of the second. So you were safely in that one. We're going to talk about that coming up here in a bit. By the way, do we do a little house cleaning here?
Oh.
I want to make sure we get this on the old video stream. If you're on YouTube, you can watch us on the video stream. Here is the check that we presented yesterday to Primary Children's Hospital for $1,184. This is like a check, and I think that if you endorse this and take it down to your America First Credit Union, you might be able to sneak this one past the goalie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got the tracking numbers on it and everything.
Oh, yeah, the routing number and all that stuff.
So I think I'm going to
zooming out on the camera right now so we can get it all.
Oh, yeah?
By the way, that is 588 donations made by our listeners.
So the reason I brought this up, because we were on TV, there's a lot of stories I can tell you about that one. But we were on the old KSL, the old mothership, presenting the check to the guys at the at Primary Children's Hospital. Couldn't be nicer guys. They were great. They were fun.
amazing.
They were awesome. They were good dudes.
And Deanie was cool too.
Once she figured out who we were,
Yeah.
and then she wasn't there.
Way to go, Deanie.
It was Dee Dee.
Way to go, Deanie.
Yes, Didi Corradini was hanging out. Yes.
Anyway, so we presented this check, and everybody's handing over these monstrous checks. They're all the same size, but these big checks, and it's like $72,000 from the Murdochs, and then
Right before us.
yeah, from Blake Murdoch, and then 50,000. Sorry, and then 50,000 from this group, and 40,000 from
Right
this group.
before us.
And then all of a sudden we come out with our piddly $1,184. And look, we're proud of this because it all happened in like $2 increments.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of people who just said, you know what, I'll give you $2 in hopes of getting Cooper Flag.
Yeah. And anybody could secure a $70,000 donation from the Murdochs. They give money to everybody.
Yeah, they got that. Ben's got that in his couch cushions.
Yeah, Ben, that's nothing to Ben.
Yeah. But this is
$2 from our listeners.
Our listeners are hard-earned money. And so, number one, we thank you for that. And number two, it was really, I don't know, I understand, like, one of the marketing people were just like, you know what, this is really great. And she was super genuine when she said this. Like, this is super great, and we appreciate this so much. And I'm like, well, you know, it's not a lot. She goes, but no, it's the message that every little dollar counts. And you guys are the perfect representation of it doesn't matter the size of the donation, any little bit counts. And I'm like, thank you.
I'm going to tell you the part that really hurt is when 11-year-old Edison walked on to the set and said, I'm going to personally write a $2,000 check. Just 11-year-old little Edison who's been helped through primary children's. And he's like, I'm just going to write a check for you.
Yeah.
I'll beat Hanson Scott.
And the guy that's going to be the tour director for a band just reached out and pulled out 20 C notes and just handed those over and be like, yeah, okay, we'll add to that.
Dee couldn't get rid of us quick enough.
I know.
What are we even doing? What are we doing?
Like I told Lloyd, can we, like, I know that it's only 1,001, but can I like take a Sharpie and just add like a little like?
Yeah, we had big time check envy.
Just make the dollar sign a 5.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, 51,184. That's it.
Nice.
That's the ticket. But that was a blast.
I think they think it says 51 now. Yeah, I'm sure that's it.
That was a blast.
It was.
Man, Primary Children's killed it. I also wanted to send a big thank you out to Stephanie.
Yeah.
And Lou. And who else was down? Joey.
Yeah. Oh, Joey. You know what?
Joey's the king.
You know how there's sometimes like we had I shouldn't say this, but sometimes, you know.
You're going to.
We've dealt with some big egos in our business, and there's some guys out there to be like, this place is going to fall apart if I'm not here. And you're like, no, Gordon. I mean, no, sir, it won't. And I'm joking. Gordon never said that. But like, there are certain places where you know the guy that the place would actually fall apart if they weren't around. And it's not you. It's not me.
Yeah.
It's Joey.
It's Joey.
Like, Joey is like the dude around here. The place would literally fall apart.
It's Joey.
Between him and Stone.
Yo, Stone.
Stone's incredible.
Yeah.
We got good people we work with, and big thanks to those people for putting on a smooth show. Because it's not easy getting that many talent and that many stations in a room with the right connections that isn't overbearing, people talking into each other's ears. And it was all organized well. We knew who the guests were. Every one of the kids that stepped up to the mic were awesome. So I'm just so pleased with how it went. And then I really want to extend a big thank you to our listeners out there.
Yeah. Yep.
Even if you didn't donate, I know you thought about it because you're all good people.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know times are tough right now. Times are tough for a lot of people. So just know, even the thought like, oh, I wish I could. I even appreciate that because I do that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, man, I wish I could, but I just can't right now.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's got to GoFundMe for something. And
Oh,
you're
yeah.
just like, oh, another one of my friends, bad situation. And you're like, I can't keep doing these GoFundMes. But big thank you to our listeners, even the ones out there that sent their thoughts and concerns, because Primary Children's Hospital is doing yeoman's work.
And everybody who donated just $2. Thank you for that.
Yep.
We appreciate that. All right, let's get to it. Starting a lineup, Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is Hans and Scotty G.
Let's go.
The lineup is set, and it's time to kick off the show with the biggest topic of the day. This is the starting lineup on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
I'm the CEO of the Jazz, which in my opinion means calm everybody, calm everyone. I'm the guy there to just help Ryan and help Austin and Justin and Will and the players and just help everybody get better.
I kind of like that. I hadn't heard that before. Calm everybody. Mm-hmm. He is the CEO. That was Danny Ainge, who was on with DJ and PK earlier this morning. If David Locke is listening, by the way, that is available to you right now at KSLSports.com.
I'd heard chill everyone out but I had never.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah, I've never heard calm everybody, but chill everyone out. I've heard that for CEO.
Yeah.
Because, man, CEOs, they do get it cush.
Yeah.
They get a big, juicy slush fund. They got a nice, plush office with mahogany. They typically have already made it in life. Yeah, I know. As Scotty and I sit in Lloyd Cole's office before every show. And Lloyd's like, hey, not on the leather.
Hey,
I've got the fold-out chairs for you.
Scotty's office is still bigger than mine, right?
You got that.
You know that.
You got that special cabinet that you knock on, and it's got what is it? Crouching Tiger. What is that? It works 70% of the time. It works every time.
Panther.
Yeah.
Sex Panther.
Steel Panther.
You did that. And 60% of the time, it works every time.
So we're just going to see how quick we can go off air today.
I wish I didn't know so much.
Oh, whatever that stuff's called. I don't remember.
You did that. You set me up. But Lloyd's office is nice. So Danny Ainge says I'm the CEO, and I chill everyone out. And it's like, yeah, but I think Danny still has a massive role and much more voice than he's leading on to. In that quick soundbite.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Oh, 100%. And that sounds like a man who knows that he does too. Like he's very keenly aware that, like, if it comes down to Ace Bailey or Trey Johnson or Con Knipple, and he's got a dog in the fight that he wants at number 5, and Austin's like, hey, I think I'm going to go with this guy. And Danny's like, really? That's what you're thinking, huh? And Austin's like, oh, crap. Dad, who do you want? He's like, well, shooting's at a premium these days in the league, and there's a guy who shot 42% in a supporting role to Cooper Flat. It's like, all right, fine, put it in. Con Knipple, go get him.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, maybe, but it just kind of feels that there's that Danny Ainge aura still with this organization.
I think you're probably right. But you know what's cool? And I was just talking about golfing with my son this morning, who's headed out on a mission here pretty quick. And so we're trying to get as much time in together as we possibly can. And I was having a blast with him, and we laugh back and forth, and we mock each other. And I don't try to bully him anymore because he picks me up and throws me around. So I just keep my distance. But to think of being in an NFL front office, as a CEO, and Rock being, this new hire as the president of football operations, and there we are. I'm the CEO. He's president of football operations, and we're getting to call the shots. And I've got all this experience, this life experience. I played at that level. I played at the NFL level. Rock hasn't yet. Maybe he will at some point. But Austin didn't play in the NBA, did he?
No.
So to think of being in that situation as a father-son, as the decision makers of a professional organization, that's a dream come true. If you got a good relationship with your dad, it's a dream come true, because as a son, he's my safety blanket, right?
Yep.
As a son, he's my safety blanket. Like, Dad, I'm thinking Ace Bailey. Oh, really? What? Just give me some thoughts. I'm thinking it too, but let's go through this. Okay. Bouncing it back and forth, and you both come to the conclusion, and you both have had this success, and you're leaning on each other and counting on each other, and you both have different forms of connections, and Danny's calling his connections and saying, is this the real deal? We both sit down. We both have a chat with Ace Bailey. We vet him out. We're on the phone late in the evening. We're having a pizza together. We're going grabbing a round of golf together, and we're like, yeah, this is it. It could be extremely successful, or it could be a complete disaster.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I do think that there is something about that relationship that I think could be very beneficial. And I know everybody's talking about, nepotism, things like that, but there's a level of confidence and a level of security when you're working with somebody that you're that close to. I got to imagine it would be an interesting thing. And just you talking like that makes me feel like, okay, what would it be like if I was working with Brody? in the same situation, and I can't help but have a big grin on my face.
Yeah.
You know, if he became a PD of a radio station and I'm just the old host that just you and me are still slumming and he's over there calling the shots and he's like, what would you do, Dad? I'm like, oh, I'd fire this guy, and this guy. He's like, no, you wouldn't. I'm like, yeah, I know I wouldn't. But, you know, it'd be fun to think about.
I wouldn't, but I tell you what I will do. This is what I would hand. This is the talent I would get. This is the hours I'd run them. You know, how valuable would that be to Brody?
Yeah.
Who's just cutting his teeth. You know, Austin's been around with the Celtics for 17 years.
It's not
in
like
some
his first
capacity.
rodeo. Yeah.
This is his first reins that he's being handed. According to Ryan Smith in his presser. By the way, Ryan Smith at 2:05 today. And so we'll jump a little bit deeper into Ryan Smith's drive to go get Austin Ainge and how he sees this managed. But I just think that having your dad there that's got years and years of experience and connections, I think it's a safety blanket. But I do think it could go one of two ways, either really good or really bad. I don't think it sits in gray area.
No. Austin Ainge said in that press conference, and Lloyd, I'm kind of skipping down the list a little bit, but he did say that, you know, hey, those days are over of the Jazz essentially manipulating, and he clarified with DJ and PK on Monday about those comments that he said, but Danny Ainge gave his thoughts on what was said by his son in that press conference.
I think the fans should be excited about the guys that we have and how they're developing and whatever pieces that are put together in this off season with the team. I think it'll be more fun this year. And I really believe that because the players are not only getting better and growing, but I think the coaches are getting to understand one another. There's some continuity with the group here, and it'd be the second year as opposed to a first year. And I do see the improvements. I'm excited for this year, regardless of what, buzzwords we want to use. I'm looking forward to this upcoming year.
I think that there is a sense in some of the people that I've talked to, and we'll talk to Ryan Smith about that coming up at 2:05 as well, in terms of there's kind of a renewed energy. And I know you've talked to people close to that organization. It does feel like everybody has this sense of, okay, you know what, we did it that way, and we don't like how that turned out. So it's not like the Jazz are going to spend a ton of money and become a 45-win team, and that's where they're going to cap out just to appease the fan base. Just say, hey, no, we're going to be competitive again. No, they're going to continue to take the right steps, but I do think there is going to be a higher level of, you know what, let's go out there and let's let these guys really go. Let's play these lineups, and let's see what these guys can do. Instead of like, all right, Laurie, you got a hamstring, you're going to sit out 2 weeks. You got that hangnail looks like it could get infected. Why don't you chill out for a bit? I don't think that's going to happen this year to that extreme that we saw last year.
I don't either. One other angle that I thought was interesting was DJ and BK asked Danny Ainge about the big game hunting. Remember, that was the big thing going into last offseason. And obviously there was no big game. There were 3 draft picks. They are all kept. They were all attempted to be developed. And Danny Ainge addressed missing out on the big game.
We have gone after some of the bigger players and bigger names, more star-like players to add to our current roster. But in the league now, there's not many of them right now that are available. And those that do come available, there's 8 or 10 teams trying to get them too. So I think maybe the most important thing is what you're saying is that what you have to trade matters a lot. And most of the trades that I've made in my career are because the other team really, really wanted what I had. And that's why you make trades. I mean, it's tough to call a team and sell them on a player that they don't want. And so they spend all their time looking around the teams they want and call the teams that have players they want. So that's the most important thing, is just having the assets. And we do have the draft picks and we do have good players like you mentioned. But if they're not good players in the eyes of the teams that have the star player, there probably isn't going to be a deal done.
Yeah, people need to remember that this isn't Madden, this isn't NBA 2K, where you can rip off trade restrictions and just get whoever you want. It takes 2 to tango. You got to want to do a trade, and the team that you're trading with has to want to do a trade. And you have to make them feel like they're winners too. Kevin O'Connor used to tell me this all the time. He's like, Everybody wants to win a trade. But if you're going into a trade wanting to obliterate another GM, guess what? You're not going to get a deal done because he doesn't want to see like he got obliterated. He needs to be able to take something to his fan base, his coach, and say, look, this is what I have. This is why I think we'll be better off for this. Not just you being better off. I need to show that I'm better off too.
So I want to go back to Big Al Jefferson move. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of a desperation stretch.
Boozer's gone. You got to find somebody to fill that role.
And somebody to fill the seats. And he had that awkward push shot. And you knew
Was it Jeezy? What did they call that?
His shot?
Yeah.
It was Jeezy.
Yeezy? Yeah, that's right.
I think it was Jeezy.
Yeah.
Slot up is down? No.
Slot up is down.
But that push shot was horrendous. But they needed somebody.
Yeah.
And I remember when they got him, I was just like, well, I know what this leads to. I know what it leads to. For instance, Jay Crowder's going to be out there. Steven Adams is going to be out there. Free agents. Marvin Bagley will be out there. Possibility of the Utah Jazz to go out and grab Malik Beasley, Nicholas Batum.
Mm-hmm.
These are some of the free agents that are going to be available. Do any one of those tell you, oh, yeah, okay, now we're shifting gears? No. Every one of those tells you, ooh, wasted energy. Oh, 3 more wins that you don't need. 2 more wins, 3 more wins that you don't need. So I understand what he's saying. When you're talking about big game in the NBA, you're talking about one of the top 10. Maybe top 20.
Yeah, top 20 for sure.
Talking maybe top 20.
I know.
I might extend it to top, but if you're telling me big game, big game.
I know in particular one of the players that the Jazz quietly made a run at, and I would consider him probably top 25, maybe.
See, I think you and David were talking about Zion Williamson. I don't put Zion in a top 20.
Yeah.
I've got him buried.
By the way, if the Jazz wanted Zion Williamson, they could get Zion Williamson.
I think they could.
Oh, I know they could.
I would be sick if they did.
Yeah. If they wanted Kyler Murray. Not Kyler Murray, sorry. They're not going NFL quarterback. Trae Young, who I always get confused. They kind of look like Kyler. He kind of looks like Kyler Murray.
That's funny.
If they wanted Trae Young, he could go out and get Trae Young. They could. But does that make you a winning basketball team? Hey, as somebody that, is going to get you on SportsCenter, going to get you some highlights here and there, are they going to make you a winning team?
I don't want either one of those guys. No. I'd rather grab that top 8 protected pick and try to get an A.J. DeMonsa.
Yeah.
Because I know what Zion is going to do. He's going to eat up your cap. He's going to keep you stretched out. He's going to play 38 to 46 games, and he's going to break your heart. He's going to let you down. If they did find a way into the postseason, they'll find a way to zero him out and force other members of the team to win. And he is not I'll go do it. He's not even close to a Nikola Jokic. It's like, I'll go do it.
Yeah. But tell you what, me and him go hit the Aria, you're going to go do it.
We're doing damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hans and Scotty, 12:31.
5 more people dying on the Bering Strait trying to get our crab.
We lost a sailor. Why? Well, Hans, Scotty, and Zion went to the Aria buffet, and
they got an empty leg.
The population just kind of dropped off.
Hollow leg.
This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
On the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, and Aggies, yeah, we've got you covered. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the Sports Zone.
Panthers bring it out for Hagee. Advances one Schmidt across to an open man in front of shot. Bennett, and he scores! And the Panthers take a 3-1 lead. Sam Bennett buries it 2 minutes into the second, and the Panthers lead by a pair.
Schmidt in his 12th year with his 5th different team. Oilers move in left to right. Kapanen to the net. McDavid out front, shooting and scoring. Matthias Ekholm ties the game. 3-3, brand new hockey game. Nugent Hopkins on the left half boards under pressure. Turns and gives it up. Beautiful pass. McDavid in front. One time and score! Leon Draisaitl! 4-3, Edmonton in
a game. What a game. What a game, Hands. 4-3 in OT. Edmonton was down 3-1. Looked like Florida was going to run them out of the building. Florida responds. They put up 2, send it to OT, and right before we went to the second OT, there's the goal. What a incredible night of hockey. And guess what? Being around this sport, watching it, learning it, and now really appreciating a special game like that one.
Man, I do not hate an extra 15, 20 minutes of Stanley Cup final play. I don't hate that. What was it, about a minute left?
Yeah, minute 30, I want to say.
And they scored that winning goal. It was Draisaitl, wasn't it?
Draisaitl from McDavid.
Yeah, and it might have been a little under that because that was about when they had that penalty kill. Or they had was it about that? I think it was getting closer. Was it under? I thought it was under a minute.
It might have been.
That was
just
right when
under
they had the power play.
Yeah.
Did that come off McDavid's stick?
Yeah, McDavid was the one that passed
to Draisaitl?
Yep.
The superstars do it, man.
No. And watching McDavid in the open ice and just seeing how fast he is. Scary fast.
He is. He's the best skater. Now, this is just my untrained eye, but this goes back to the Four Nations. When you're watching him against the greatest in the world, all of the different guys, and you're like, this guy is different.
Yeah.
He just skates different. He moves fast. When he gets on the breakaway, he's gone. It's like watching Jerry Rice off the edge.
Yeah.
You know that he's got a breakaway, and he's got different moves, and he's got veteran mind. And you're watching a guy, McDavid, where you're watching him go down the ice, and nobody's catching up with him.
Yeah. It's like, modern day, like Tyreek Hill, when you got guys that seemingly have the angle and just right past him.
I want that here in Utah.
Yeah.
I don't know
how you get it.
Don't know how you get it, but Connor McDavid is incredible, and that Draisaitl finish was awesome. But I'm going to give Big Time Bob some major props because he had 42 saves.
Yeah. For a guy who gave up 4 goals in a loss, I thought he played a hell of a game.
A hell of a game. And he's fun to watch. Henry, he's just the prototypical Russian goalie. He just doesn't quit. And there was a save about 1:30 left in regulation, 2 minutes left in regulation, that Kareem just off the very edge of his shoulder. Everything he had jumped to the left and barely nicked his shoulder and sent it wide of the steal and saved his team, at least got him into overtime.
Yeah.
And that's the one. My guy, Bob. Okay, is there any way to get him here with the Mammoth? See, when we talked to Jay Stevens, I'm like, we could get everybody here.
Yeah, go get him. And Jay, I think, plays along with us a little bit because he's like, okay, yeah.
Because you and I were like, Mitch Marner, Sam Bennett, let's get him here. Let's get him in the Mammoth jersey. And Jay's like, you could have them both. And I'm like, well, let's get Bobrovsky too.
Yes.
Let's do. Hey, somebody open up your checkbook.
I don't know what the NHL equivalent is to NBA 2K, but let's just get crazy.
When we talk to Ryan Smith, we're going to be like, hey, Ryan, I'm just going to throw my 2 cents in.
Can we go get this guy?
I got $50 on it. I'd like to see Bobrovsky in a Mammoth jersey for 5 years because the guy is nonstop, and he is a postseason thriller. You've got guys that show up in regular season and then disappear in postseason play. Then you've got guys that just get through a regular season and then postseason comes and it's guns a-blazing.
Yeah. And, I mean, I really felt like Florida was going to win that game, if not that overtime, the second overtime, because Edmonton had those 3 opportunities and could not finish them because of Bob. Bob got the stop.
Oh, and they had some good
And I'm like, you know what? Bob shut him down, and Edmonton's going to sneak one in. Or, excuse me, Florida's going to sneak one in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how this thing's going to end. But Edmonton just kept plugging away and plugging away and plugging away. And look, I don't care. Look, I know I'm still learning this game, but I don't think there's any goalie on the planet that could have saved that last goal that Florida or that Edmonton won.
No, there's not.
That's not on Bob.
No, there's not. That was a sure shot.
Yeah. The movement, the speed, the accuracy of the passes leading up to it, the assists. Yeah, nobody's stopping that thing.
This is going to be a problem. This series is going to be a problem. So the Avi bet.
The Avi
bet's I'm in trouble.
You're not in trouble, but I'm one up on that one.
Yeah.
I lost the Green Monster, but the Avatar bet.
Monster.
Yeah, the Monster.
The Avatar bet was whoever is leading after the first period of game one would win the series.
So that locks me into Edmonton.
You're still Florida.
Or that locks me into Florida.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah.
That locks me into Florida. I wanted Edmonton because I think this is going to go to 7. It's going to go back to their home ice, and I think they're going to avenge last year.
How great was that crowd, by the way?
Their offense. Listen to this. So this is what's. Oh, it was good.
Yeah.
This is what's incredible. So Bob had 42 saves in a loss. Skinner had 29 saves in a win. 42-29 on saves.
That's crazy.
So, Skinner did a lot of great things, but I kind of feel like Sergei Bobrovsky was sitting in the net like, is anybody going to try to help?
Yeah.
Why are these guys getting so many shots on goal? Somebody please help me.
And the one thing we talked about Florida leading up to the series is that Florida is bigger, stronger, physical. They just want to bully you. Well, if you just watched that game for the first time and didn't know anything about those two teams, and you asked me who was the bully, especially in overtime, it was Edmonton. Edmonton was the bully. Were the bullies in that game.
It's an assault. It's just a full-on assault.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Florida can do to stop the assault. Because if Bobrovsky is taking on 46 shot attempts and getting 42 saves and giving up 4 goals, you can't do that. That's almost a 92% save rate. He's not going to get a 92% save rate. If you put 46 shots on him in every game in this series, it'll be done in 5.
Yeah.
So what do you do to stop the bleeding of the Edmonton shot? Because they just are lightning, and they just have a great chemistry really across the board. And Kane is a problem too.
Yeah, he's a problem.
Evander Kane is an issue. But I would love to have a few of these guys here in Utah, including Evander Kane.
Yep. Give me Bennett.
6'3", 220 pounds of riled up nastiness. He's an old vet. I would love to have that dude.
There's so many ticked off people on this ice right now. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it's good. Game 2 is coming up on Friday.
Yeah, let's go. All right, Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Remember, Ryan Smith will join us coming up at 2:05. The owner of the Utah Mammoth and the Utah Jazz will join us coming up at 2:05. Kurt Heelan, not to be outdone, he'll join us coming up at 1:05. It's all right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Part of the show, every moment of every show is available in podcast form by searching Hans and Scotty on your favorite podcasting platform or online at KSLSports.com. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
I'm going to let it go in case we get the bad lyrics. Oh,
Lloyd, you play things so safe.
No fun over there. Just trying to have some fun.
You just never know what's left over from old music.
Hey, don't miss another Minky Monday coming up on the Zone this Monday. Tune in all day to win Minky Couture blankets for your dad. You're right. You think your dad doesn't want a blanket? Of course he does. He's out there busting his tail, making ends meet, bringing home that bacon. He wants to cuddle up underneath a Minky blanket. The original classy blanket, Minky Couture, makes the perfect Father's Day gift, and Zone listeners get 50% off with code ZONE50. Don't miss Minky Monday coming up this Monday on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
So, do you agree with Adam Silver when he said, if it was Pittsburgh and Green Bay in a Super Bowl, you'd all be cheering?
Apples and oranges.
Apples and oranges for sure.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy. You don't.
Those are legacy teams.
Yeah, those are legacy teams. Here's Adam Silver on some really flawed logic, trying to say, "Oh no, this is great for our league."
It's one thing I really admire about the NFL. I mean, if we were going into a Super Bowl and it was Packers against Steelers, you guys would be celebrating that. Those would be storied franchises. People wouldn't be talking about, the fact that Pittsburgh is a small market. So in fact, I'm happy whatever team ends up in the finals, but it's been intentional from our standpoint to create a system, a collective bargaining agreement that allows more teams to compete. And just by way of background, we're going to have to go through a process of getting to the point where people are accustomed to tuning into the finals because it's the two teams that deserve to be there, and it's the best basketball. Similar to, again, with the Super Bowl, if I asked somebody if they were going to watch the Super Bowl, they wouldn't say who's playing. It's a national holiday, and now that's nirvana.
That's the goal.
I'm not saying we're anywhere close to that yet. There's still, if the Knicks are in the finals, there's a segment of our fan base that's going to watch that may not watch if it's other teams. But my job is to get people to love and follow this game, and so that if you're a huge basketball fan, you should want to tune into the finals because that's the best basketball.
By the way, let the man finish his answer. Quit trying to cut him off. People are there to listen to Adam Silver, not you. I don't know who he was on with, but geez, man, shut your mouth and let Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, talk.
Who was that, Lloyd?
For crying out loud. What a nightmare.
Yeah, and it's just so rude when you're trying to ask somebody questions and they just keep cutting you off.
Yeah.
It's just rude.
It goes the other way, too.
I'm like trying to ask just a good question, and it's like, but anyway.
One more thing.
One more. Just let me ask the dang question.
Yes. And then when you're done asking the question, you back off. Let the guy answer. But here's the Adam Silver has got caught himself in a little bit of a trap here because the NFL, one of the reasons the NFL is so freaking popular is because the NFL has spent decade after decade after decade promoting what? Their teams. Okay? Mm-hmm. The NFL promotes teams. Now, granted, there's individuals that can sometimes go past their teams, and the teams themselves can promote them, but the NFL has always done a great job promoting its teams, its legacy. No player outside of maybe a select few are greater than their team. It's all about the team. The NBA has spent decades and decades and decades promoting players. So that makes it more about the cities because the players want to go to a city because it's going to hype up their promotion if they're playing in a bigger city, and that means they're more marketable and they can make more money in bigger cities. They want to go because of their marketability because the NBA is going to market you more when you're in a bigger city. And so that's why there has been this schism between the NBA and the NFL. And the NFL, you're right, Aaron Rodgers never complained about being in Green Bay because he's not being hyped up. Because if you're great in the NFL is going to find you and promote you. But in the NBA, if you're in Oklahoma City or sometimes you're in Utah or sometimes you're somewhere else, you get left behind because they're like, we're talking about players in big markets.
You're going to get picked last during the All-Star
Exactly.
game.
You can't have it both ways, Adam. You created this. And the guy before you created this. This is... And the NBA may have survived because of it, because they said, hey, we got Magic Johnson, we got Larry Bird. We really need to get behind these guys and really push them. And it may have saved the NBA in the 70s and early 80s. But you can't say, okay, but the NFL does this and we need to be like, no. You took one path, the NFL took another path. You can't have it both ways.
That is not how that works. By the way, he's not wrong. Pittsburgh and Green Bay would be an incredible Super Bowl.
Yes.
It would be big time, but you're right. It's just not the NBA's path. It's Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
And the Pacers.
Yeah. And your TV ratings are going to suffer significantly because of it. Now, by the way, I'm not complaining about this. I love this NBA Finals. I love that the NBA is in this situation where small market teams are playing for a title. I'm not complaining about it. In fact, I'm more apt to watch. If it was New York and the Lakers, I don't know. I'm not too overly... I'm going to watch it because it's my job, but I love the fact it's Oklahoma City. I love the fact that it's the Pacers. I'm all about it.
So I keep track of what NBA teams do, And I've kept track of it, let's see, going back to 2000. So from the year 2000 until now, 24-25 season, Oklahoma City has had 5 conference finals appearances. This is their first since 2015. Oklahoma City has been to the conference finals 5 times since 2000. And this is their second trip to the finals. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
definitely their second trip to the finals. And 5 sounds right. So, yeah, I think you're spot on.
The Pacers have been to the conference finals 5 times, including back-to-back. The Pacers have been back-to-back conference finals, and now they've got a finals appearance.
Yeah.
It's tough to keep track of this because when you get to the very bottom of the barrel, there's the Utah Jazz. There's only 2 teams that have performed worse. And as far as getting distance in the postseason and being relevant in big moments, there's only 2 teams that are worse than the Utah Jazz. Sacramento Kings, who actually may have bettered. Did the Kings didn't make a conference finals 2 years ago, did they?
No.
And the Pelicans. Pelicans are bad. That's it.
That's not great company to be with.
No, it's not. And so it just, you could go to the East, and in the East has some bad. The Knicks haven't been to the conference finals.
Well, they weren't there since, what, 99?
Since 92?
The conference finals?
Yeah. Was it 99?
No, it was 99 because they went to the NBA finals in 99.
That's right.
Where's the Magic in there?
Yeah. The Magic? No, the Magic have 2 conference finals. Their last was 2009. The Magic have a finals appearance.
Yeah. Yeah, Dwight Howard got smoked.
The Magic have a finals appearance, dude. They've got 2 conference finals and a finals appearance. So the Magic, but you have the Knicks, the Hornets, and the Wizards that are awful. You know, the Bulls have been terrible too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No. Since 2000, the Bulls only have 1 conference finals appearance. The East is pretty ugly. The East has been dominated by Boston.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
And you've got Boston West in your office now.
So let's go. All right, Hans and Scotty. 1 o'clock coming up. Kurt Heelan from NBC Sports Pro Basketball Talk for his weekly conversation. And then mark it down in your calendar, put an alert in your phone, whatever you need to do. Ryan Smith, owner of the Utah Jazz, joining us at 2:05, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.